Hi friends, welcome back to another session of PCMBDC. We are in our first section where we are looking into the devices. Here we have started our journey into the devices through a two-layer device called a PN junction. It's a fusion of two layers, one layer made up of P-type material and another layer made up of N-type of material. As we can see here, we have two materials, one P-type and the other one is N-type. And the property of the P-type is the P-type material will have majority of holes that's in the conduction band, very few electrons which are the result of thermal agitation and electron hole pairs were released from breaking the covalent bond. Very few free electrons are available which are in the conduction band, and hence the majority are in the valence band. Very small number is there in the conduction band, hence the average energy is more favored towards the valence band, and that's what we call Fermi level in very simple terms. Whereas in N-type material, we are using pentavalent atoms, so they release free electrons without creating any hole associated with it, and hence we have a large number of free electrons here and very few holes that are created due to electron hole pair creation because of the thermal agitation. Very small number of holes, very large number of electrons. Therefore, the average energy is more favored towards the conduction band, and that's why the Fermi level of N-type is here. As long as these two materials are different, that doesn't make any difference, so they will be in this form. But what do you think when these two are joined together? When the two materials are joined together and a junction is formed. So here a junction is formed. Now what do you think would happen? Definitely the right hand side is having a lot of free electrons, large in number, and the left side is having holes, large in number. Free electron means an electron becomes free only when it gets extra energy, and hence the right hand side is having large amount of energy, whereas the left half is below average, because this is having holes in large number. Hole means it has lost an electron, so electron is lost means with electron energy is also lost, and hence this end is having lower energy, this end is having higher energy. And as long as two materials are different, one can have low energy, one can have high energy, not a problem. But when they are fused together, then the a single material, one side high energy, one side low energy, is not possible, and because of which there is a potential gradient, or what you can say is charge difference. So this side is having a negative charge, this side is having lot of positive charge, and because of which these negative charges get attracted towards this because of the potential formed. Done. So the electrons start moving with electron energy also get transferred from this layer to this layer, and this continues. So the electrons keep moving from this layer to this layer, and because of electron motion, this energy keeps reducing and this energy keeps increasing, and this process of movement or electron transfer continues till the two average energies become equal. So the Fermi level of p type becomes equal to Fermi level of n type. So when these two become equal, then the average energy on both sides will be equal, and hence no more change or no more flow of electrons is possible. Okay. Now a simple question is, when the two Fermi levels become equal, what do you think will happen? How does this figure look like? You say this figure, so let me start drawing only two lines. So this line here and this line here. The other side, whether you write or don't write doesn't make much difference because our whole discussion is in this gap. Okay, so this was our junction, and earlier this Fermi level was here, this Fermi level was here. Now after electrons moving from this end to this end, what do you think the Fermi levels will be? So do you think the Fermi level will be equal and hence it becomes like this? So do you think it happens like this? So definitely not. Why? Because this is the property of intrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor means a pure semiconductor, whereas we are talking about p type, n type, which is an impure semiconductors. My simple question is, if these two are joined and after a energy transfer, and if it is going to become like this, it means that the material is no more impure. No, what actually happened here after fusing these two layers into one junction, the energy transferred through flow of electrons, and definitely the trivalent atoms here did not vanish, pentavalent atoms here definitely did not vanish. They do exist, continue existing here. The pentavalent atoms continue existing here, and trivalent atoms continue existing here. And the property of trivalent or property of a material with trivalent impurity is the Fermi level near conduction band, and the property of a semiconductor with pentavalent impurity is Fermi level should be near conduction band. They cannot be in the center like this. Therefore, this concept is ruled out. But yes, one thing is very sure, that after transfer of electrons, the Fermi level on the two sides is going to be equal. That means average level this side, average level this side are going to be equal. But what does it say is, how does the bands look like? Okay, before going into this, let us get to a simple example. Let us take one copper which is hot and one iron piece which is cold. Done. So we have a hot copper piece and we have a cold iron piece. As long as they are separate, the hot copper continues to be copper, and cold iron continues to be cold iron. But the whole situation changes when these two are put together. So these two are fused together. When they are brought together, they touch each other. Then what would happen? Definitely, one end of the this is going to be one system now. These were two separate systems, independent of each other, so there was no influence of one another. Whereas now this has become a single system, and in one system, equilibrium is a must. Equilibrium means one end having high energy, that is high temperature, other end having low energy, that is low temperature, is not permitted, and because of which the heat starts transferring from this side to this side. The heat transfers from this side to this side, and the temperature of this reduces, temperature of this increases, and this process continues till the temperature of the copper is equal to temperature of the iron. Temperature of the copper equal to temperature of the iron. Okay, now the two temperatures are equal. Now, what do you think? What happens to these two materials? Do you think the energy has transferred from copper to iron? Do you think iron now starts behaving like copper? Or copper is attached with iron? Do you think the copper will start behaving like iron? Definitely no. Copper will remain copper and iron will remain iron. Only thing is the energy in the copper has shifted from copper region to iron region, and hence the copper temperature has gone down, iron temperature has gone up, and this process, what happened is heat gets transferred, energy gets transferred, the basic property of the two materials did not change. So there is no change in the property of the material. Copper remains copper, iron remains iron, though temperature changed. Earlier copper temperature was high, now it has come down to medium. Iron temperature was low, now it also has come down to medium. Both have reached one equal values, but copper material remains copper, iron material remains iron. So same thing is here. The left side was a p-type material. The property of p-type material is that the conduction band, sorry, the Fermi level should be near the valence band. Okay, what is the property of n-type? The property of n-type is the Fermi level should be near the conduction band. Yes. So if this is valence band, if this is upper end of the valence band, then where is the lower end of the conduction band? The lower end of the conduction band is somewhere here. And if this is the lower end of the conduction band, then where is the upper end of the valence band? It has shifted downwards here. Why shifted downwards? Because this whole thing has lost energy. The n type of material we have having energy in the form of free electrons, and these free electrons have moved from this region to this region, and hence this went on reducing its energy, and this went on gaining its energy. So in the energy level, if you talk, then this continued to increase its energy level, whereas this continued to decrease energy level. And when the two average energies become equal, we reached equilibrium. That's what we call, that's how the energy band diagram would look like when the two materials P and N are joined together. And what has happened here is the electrons from here moved to this side. Before starting this whole experiment, this region was having majority of holes, small number of free electrons. This was having majority of free electrons, small number of holes. that is with respect to charge carriers. But when you talk about the total charge, net charge here, the number of electrons, number of protons were equal in number here, number of electrons, number of protons were equal in number here. So please don't get confused with free charges and electrons and whole number, electrons and proton numbers. The each material was electrically neutral, meaning that number of electrons, number of protons were equal in both sides. Now after this mismatch, electrons have to move from this end to this end to make these two average energies equal, and because of which you find excess electrons on the left hand side, a shortage of electrons on the right hand side, and because of which what happens is this end is more having more protons and this end is having more electrons, and which will create an imbalance, and that imbalance, so we have more free electrons here, more electrons here, and we have more protons here, and because of which another electric potential is created, and that is equivalent to this one. So this is the one which we call the potential barrier. So this one will be created because to make these two equal and to retain the property of the two sides. So the energy band diagram finally looks like this, and this is what we had seen in our previous lecture as a depletion region. So this region is depleted of any charge carriers. That means the charges which are available for conduction. So that's another way of talking, and this can be more useful in understanding how a device works, whether it is a two layer device or three layer device, and a better understanding of three layer device is possible when we start talking with respect to energy diagram instead of the materialistic way they're talking in terms of electrons, holes, protons, and all. So till the next session, take care. Bye.